The Super Bowl DFS and interviews edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WynnBet. WynnBet is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBet has what you need to win. Sign up today, bet 100, get 100 at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by SGPN's Big Game Bingo. $57 SGPN gift card for every bingo hit. And we're brought to you by SGPN's 57 Bets Challenge. $570 cash and a $570 gift card to the winner of the props contest. Get all our contest info exclusively on the SGPN app. And if you're going to be out in Arizona for the big game, make sure to check out our live show at the Ainsworth Thursday, 11 a.m. Mountain. Register today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/big game. Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Vibes are high.
Vibes are high.
Vibes are high in Arizona. The desert, the buildings are the same color as the desert. Very beautiful. Saw a blue to orange ombre on the way here. Nothing like being in the desert. I've got to be honest though, Sean. I have not heard "Go Birds" a ton. Have not heard a ton of more "Go Birds" happening in Los Angeles than Arizona for the Super Bowl.
Well, Ryan, you know why that is. It's because all the corporate media, big gambling, trying to hold down the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, you don't think the media is gonna not be all over Patrick Mahomes in that storyline? Meanwhile, the upstart Philadelphia Eagles, no one giving us a chance to take down Showtime Mahomes in Super Bowl 57. No one believes in this, Ryan.
Mahomes.
I do think, one, there's a couple of things we have to get to. One, the insane amount of whining that we're getting from professional football players, aka the San Francisco 49ers, has risen to dramatic heights. One, Brandon Ayuk saying bet all your money on Patrick Mahomes and being able to carve up the Eagles defense. Christian McCaffrey saying, hey, I hope they look at the rule book and decide to
SEC. It feels a little SEC like, right? It feels like
they need to figure out the emergency third quarterback. All right, let's settle a couple things. You are able to dress three quarterbacks. You're just using that third roster spot. Your coaching genius Kyle Shanahan didn't think that was a good strategy. Didn't trust the third quarterback. Also, stop kidding yourself. What third quarterback that couldn't beat out Josh Johnson was going to save you and win that game? It felt like something. He was on a Kay Adams show saying it felt like something was taken from us. You mean? Yeah, I'll tell you what was taken from you. The ball when Hassan Reddick blew by your offensive lineman and strip sack. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My take would be very clear. I mean, look, I root for a guy that once did a snow angel next to Nick Foles' dead body. All right, rest in peace. So I'm all for this. Look, injuries are part of the game. So for these people to say it was random, come on. And the second thing I would say, those who are out politicking for rule changes, history doesn't often look fondly upon you.
No, it always comes back to bite you. Like the Bills. Hey, we got to change the playoff rules. Hey, you guys still get knocked out of the playoffs.
And just think about the Peyton Manning crying about the holding penalty. I mean, no one. Maybe we're just too close to Colby and we hear about it all the time. But I don't think people are going to remember Christian McCaffrey for the guy that got the emergency third quarterback reinstated.
Yeah, and he looked pretty good in the Pro Bowl. So I don't know.
To your point, like there's a reason that when during COVID they expanded the roster and said you no longer have to use it for an emergency quarterback. There's a reason why no NFL team does.
Yeah, because
it's not optimal.
If you get to your third quarterback, you're already fucked. It doesn't matter.
It's not optimal. Why waste a spot there? You're better off having a third backup gunner or whatever. I don't know. It is very 2022, 2023. It is very I mean, I hear the same thing from my daughters coming home from school. I didn't do good because of the substitute teacher. The coach was mean to us and we didn't play. Shouldn't have done that, and that's why we did. It's like, Jesus Christ. Do you ever fuck up? Do you ever make a mistake? You ever lost a game? Wins don't matter, Sean. Even losses don't matter either.
Chiefs passing game will expose the Eagles defense.
Process over outcome.
All right, one more piece of news, then we'll get out some DFS picks, get to some interview action as well. I mean, breaking news. We ran into him last year on Radio Row. I was looking around. I came down here. It's now called Media Row, not Radio Row.
Oh, well.
You lost the alliteration, NFL honchos. But I came down here. I was looking forward to seeing Michael Irvin walking around. Don't see him.
Oh, what happened?
Breaking news. Michael Irvin has, the NFL Network has pulled Michael Irvin after misconduct complaint. According to Michael Irvin, we shook hands, then I left. That's all I know. Irvin added that he was, quote, out drinking, which will make it hard for him to dispute her version if the drinking may have impaired his memory.
This happened,
quote,
like, recently?
This happened, I guess, last night.
Oh, wow.
It was just a friendly conversation, Irvin said.
Oh, no.
What's up? I don't even know. I'm totally perplexed. He insisted there was nothing sexual. What law did I break? There was definitely nothing physical. That's honestly all that happened. Nobody was in my room. It was a 45-second conversation in the lobby, a handshake, we left. I don't know. I don't know what this is, and it's running me crazy. So if you're looking for Michael Irvin, he is not going to be here, Ryan.
Look, there's a certain quality that number one receivers have. And they get what they want. So
well, normally it's the cornerbacks who have the short memory, but apparently Michael Irvin also has the short memory. Can't remember the interaction that has gotten him in trouble. So we'll see. Hey,
this is the war on football.
The war on football. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WynnBet. Head over there. Sign up today. Use that link so they know we sent you. Bet big. Win bigger. Oh man, we are going to be firing up, building some bets. The 57 bet challenge is alive and well. Make sure you guys fill out your entries, get your big game bingo cards ready to go. Get all that in the app. And of course, sign up over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. And of course, if you're out in Arizona, come out to the Ainsworth. Say hello to Kramer and I. We will be hanging out. I'll have a beer with you. Kramer will with you as well. It's going to be an awesome time. Bunch of big names for the kickoff party as well. So much happening. Hopefully you guys are out here in Arizona. But hey, if you're not in Arizona, if you're one of those WynnBet states, it's already the Super Bowl. And of course, if you hit the biggest long shot parlay, $1,000 free credit courtesy of WynnBet. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/WYNNBET. Offers subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. Must be 21 or older. And President State where playthrough WynnBet is available. If somebody knows a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700.
Sean, I am excited not to talk about the future, but you, Julian Edelman, back to back. Who is tall? Who will be taller?
Well, we'll see, Ryan.
Maybe one-on-one coverage. Can you cover him in the slot? You think?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Get a stiff right hand to the shoulder.
Nothing against Edelman. I'm just really my jamming ability is look at that lightning quick, Ryan. I don't even know. I'm looking over at your screen because I'm wondering if the camera can catch how quick that is. Me jamming a receiver off the line.
We do have it dialed down for the reduced power at the medium.
Do you have the frame rate set, Ryan? Because it might just be a blur for those watching at YouTube.
I don't think it's 240 hertz. Maybe the eye won't catch it. I will say I've been watching some Coach Prime stuff late night on YouTube, and he prefers a one-hand technique. So maybe we can update your jamming.
Well, no offense to Coach Prime, but he relied on speed. Me, it's grit, determination. That's how I get it done. All right, let's talk DFS picks. It's a one-game slate, showdown only. You get 6 players, 1 in the captain's seat, which is 1.5 times the salary. And again, if you're doing the big GPP lineups, you really have to factor in, especially with only 6 guys in one game, how unique your lineup is going to be. So I think the way you play these is come up with a very specific way you see the game happening, build your DFS lineup around that.
Genius. I agree. I mean, I captain a quarterback.
Okay.
Captain my captain.
What do you got, Ryan?
Patrick Mahomes. Come on. I'm team Chiefs right now. aka America's team, America's new team.
Hopefully, I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, it worked out great for the Dallas Cowboys.
Give it
to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I will say that I am enjoying your constant pushing of the narrative that the Eagles are an underdog.
No one believes in us.
Even though everywhere I look, more people are picking the Eagles. Betting tickets, more people picking the Eagles. Experts, more people picking the Eagles.
Well, they're experts.
Okay, I'm just saying I'm not seeing this contrarian side swarming around with dog masks, ready to storm.
Everything I hear is you can't Patrick Mahomes as an underdog.
Here we go.
Jim, have you seen him? Oh, look at what he did. It was great just rewatching the Bucks Chiefs Super Bowl where the Bucks destroyed them.
Yeah.
And Tony, I was watching the highlights, getting some great. He keeps hyping up, and it's like highlights, so it's all cut together. But the Romo audio is included, and he keeps hyping up this potential comeback by Patrick Mahomes. He's like, Superman's about to put his cape on, Jim. Look at that. And then he just gets destroyed. It's awesome.
Tony Romo, really, talk about a guy who let it get to his head right away.
Well, the intervention, he's in a 12-step program for fixing his announcing. All right, for me, I'm going Jalen Hurts in my captain seat, 16,800, rare breed, untamed. Let's go.
Where is I see the hardware's not on. Are we saving that? We're
saving it for the Ainsworth, right?
It is a pretty secure room right now. I don't think anyone's going to come snatch your rare breed chain. But yeah, oh man, that's gonna. I can't wait to see the reaction to that. Is it going to be the blingiest piece of hardware in the Ainsworth tomorrow?
We'll see. We'll have to see.
All right. I also have Jalen Hurts. I played both quarterbacks.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's wise to not. I mean, you know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. Whether or not he wins the game, I certainly think he's going to get in the end zone, and I certainly think any chance they have obviously hinges on him doing something. So in a game where the Chiefs win, I do think the Eagles keep it competitive. 11,200 for Hurts.
And again, obviously, I'm leaning into the Eagles win. Eagles win by double digits. So I'm going AJ Brown for my stack 9,200 here. After that, though, I'm going to pivot into my kind of run heavy 4 horsemen approach.
No, I like the fight. I was going to ask you if you were deploying the 4 horsemen.
Well, so I'm kind of tipping my hand, but I can hear the galloping in the distance. I mean, the Eagles have led the league in rushing touchdowns.
Yep.
I'm going to lean into that angle because I don't think anyone's going to play this lineup. The lineup I'm looking at is a lineup that's not going to get duped. 0
dupes. All right. I mean, I'm peeking at it right now, and you might be right.
Thank you.
Stack with Mahomes, chalky, but give me Travis Kelce. I'll get different in a bit, but Travis Kelce. You just can't win these things without him. Sean, top 100 FFPC playoff challenge entries. What percentage do you think have Travis Kelce?
60.
100%.
Wow.
I do have a Goedert Kelce lineup that's a little different that I think maybe I can elevate to top 10. But yeah, Kelce is in every lineup. It's same with, I would imagine there's not many underdog lineups that have qualified out of into the final without Travis Kelce. I'm not going to get cute here. I'll get cute somewhere else. Kelce, 10,600.
Yeah, I'm switching into a run heavy approach. Miles Sanders, $7,800.
Okay.
I think it's tough to predict the volume that he's going to get, but I do think the Eagles are going to run the ball. I think either they come out running because the Chiefs defense, like there's a world, there's a game script where we saw what they did against the Green Bay Packers defense, which you look at the rankings, you look at the DVOA, very similar in their inability to stop the run. I wouldn't be shocked if they pull off a similar game plan. Ryan, you had Jalen Hurts to lead the playoffs in rushing yards. I think I'm kind of following a similar game plan in that, and it would also involve Sanders getting some runs as well. So give me Miles Sanders, 7,800.
I think it's so. I was talking to our friend Hoops Peterson on VSiN last night. And we were talking about the high. When you're around smart people, you got to start calling them high variance plays. It's fun. He had a great response to me. He's like, "Yeah, it's layups and 3-pointers. Take the layups and then go for the 3-pointers.
Half court shot."
I do think the variance of going after that, like something like that Jalen Hurts prop that we talked about, is absolutely on point. And actually, I'll jump ahead to my next guy. because it also references a great long shot prop, and that's Sky Moore. So I was very chalky with Mahomes, Hurts, Kelsey, but Sky Moore 3,800. Let's get different here. He's going to pop that reverse. He's going to be the first guy to get to 20 rushing yards, and he's going to score a touchdown. 3,800, Sky Moore. I think he'll have a tiny bit of ownership because of the injuries around the Chiefs, but I'm starting to get a little different here. So Sky Moore, 3,800.
For me, Boston Scott 3,000.
Wow.
I think even you take my homerism away.
What do you mean?
The fact that he can't
do that.
The fact that he can get you a touchdown at 3,000. I mean, who would you rather have in the 3,000 range, Ryan?
It's like saying, imagine if Michael Irvin wasn't a Cowboy. It's not possible. I can't
imagine if Michael Irvin didn't like cocaine. It's tough to imagine that scenario.
Literally in every simulation, he likes cocaine and is a Dallas Cowboy. So
I mean, how am I not going to put in Boston Scott? He's only $3,000, and I think at that price point, he's more expensive than Quez Watkins, who I think actually, because he's so cheap, Quez Watkins might get a decent amount of ownership.
Not Pascal, Mr. Zach. That to me feels like the fun super cute.
Pascal at 800, I think could also, but I think they'll look at Quez Watkins season long stuff and see the couple deep shots that he did catch and just think like, oh, what if they hit some bombs?
But per you, he's not going to be involved.
No, and DFS wise, you could talk me into Pascal over Quez Watkins. Especially it's $800. I just didn't need the salary. I'm fading guys like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelsey in this particular GPP
Chiefs.
build.
So you're fading Chiefs.
Yes.
Okay.
And in particular, expensive Chiefs. You are required to play one Chief, so.
Allegedly. All right, my last Chief. Give me Noah Gray, 1,200. Certainly want to spray some high variance stuff at backup tight end Noah Gray. I think everyone is talking about the receiver, the potential for Juju and Tony and all these guys to be hurt, potentially miss the game, leave the game early. Not a ton of Noah Gray smoke being thrown out there. Or if there is, I'm not listening to it, nor am I seeing it.
Well, and Noah Gray still has the chance of like a rushing touchdown near the goal line, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I want to take the tight ends in this matchup. So I stacked Mahomes with Kelsey, Gray, and Sky Moore. I don't think a ton of people will have that.
For me, tossing Kenny Gainwell, $5,000.
Is it Kenny or Kenneth?
I call him Kenny.
Okay. I want to, we're a professional outlet. We're at Media Row here. We don't want to lose our credentials.
Big Gambling is trying to stop us, doing whatever they can, knock out our ETH internet, do whatever. Again, Kenny Gainwell, I like him to have the most rushing yards to finish the playoffs. 48 last game, 112 the game before. He gets involved near the red zone. I feel like I'm a broken record with that, but he had a 2-touchdown game against the Giants. I mean, who didn't? But there's a lot of opportunities for Kenny Gainwell in this game.
Thought about playing him. I like him as a contrarian Eagle.
Do you think he is contrarian? Because I feel like he's been catching. A lot of people are kind of talking him up as a cute MVP.
With this price, I don't think so. I mean, I think he's gaining the same price as he's 600 less than Juju, who's arguably a number. I don't know if I would say he's. I think he'll gain get some ownership. He'll probably be more popular than Scott, but I don't know if he's going to be hugely owned.
Yeah.
All right, last one for me. We're about to, we'll talk about this more later with our guest, Sean. But Dallas Goedert. I do like this matchup for him, and I think his catch prop feels low at 4.5. And I think that the way that they're going to need to attack this team is Dallas Goedert through the middle and with the running game. And so at 6,400, he becomes a nice little stack with Jalen Hurts. I didn't deploy the 4 horsemen strategy or any running back strategy here. Playing running backs, very negative EV at this point. So good luck, Sean. Give me Goddard to stack with Hurts. So I did a 4-2 lineup.
All right, I'm doing a 5-1 lineup, as you would imagine. My only chief of the slate, the most insulting pick you can pick, Harrison Butker, $4,000. 4,000
on him? See, I would have thought you would throw Noah Gray in there. 1,200. Save the extra salary. I guess you didn't need it, though. Guess you didn't need it. You know better than I do.
I mean,
you know better than I do.
Butker, I think.
Are we having a late swap here?
No, I was going back and forth between him, Pacheco. I could kind of play most people except Kelsey as far as on the offensive side. But I do think this Eagles red zone defense can slow them down, hold them to some field goals, and I think I like Pacheco, or I like Butker there at the price.
I like that slip too. Liking a Chief, you do like Pacheco. I mean, the symmetry of this season. The offseason, the best ball, us driving Isaiah Pacheco from an undrafted free agent all the way up to a 13th round in best ball, and now to see him in the Super Bowl. And not only that, Sean, let's talk Kadarius Toney. We talked about this before the season, if he was going to be in the Super Bowl. What an absolute culmination for both those men.
It's really been a long
Pacheco
journey.
More of a dub for us, although over under. I haven't found this prop. I wanted to give it out, but over under snaps Kadarius Toney plays in the Super Bowl.
I don't know if I haven't seen a book.
I'll set it at 10.5.
I haven't seen a book post that yet, but obviously auto play on the under for Kadarius Toney. Ryan, you mentioned fantasy and best ball, and of course, make sure you head over to underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN. Get that 100% deposit bonus. Best ball season is right around the corner. They also have a ton of fun ways to get down on the big game, including their over/under pick'em, aka player props. If you're in a state that doesn't have access to that, Underdog Fantasy is a great way to get involved. And their Battle Royale, which is essentially Snake Draft meets DFS. A lot of fun to play. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Get that 100% deposit match. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Joining us live here at Super Bowl 57, former tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles, Mr. Clay Harbor. Clay, thanks for hanging out, man.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, no, definitely stoked to get you on the show. Big game, obviously, for the Eagles. What sort of game can we expect? As a former Philadelphia Eagle tight end, what can we expect out of Dallas Goedert in the Super Bowl?
I think big things, man. I think a lot of attention is going to have to be paid to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. If you look at the Bengals game, I mean, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins both had good games.
Yeah.
And these Kansas City Chiefs cornerbacks, I don't think can guard these guys on their own. So they're going to have to take some extra attention from the safeties. So I think that leaves Dallas Goedert with a big game through the middle of the field. I think Goddard's going to show why he's the second best tight end in the NFL. In my opinion, the two best tight ends in the league.
Who do you got top two?
Oh, wow.
It's Travis Kelce, then it's Dallas Goedert. Then
hot.
From there, we go to George Kittle, and then from there, we go to Mark Andrews. So I think I put Goddard ahead of Kittle and Andrews.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, as an Eagles fan, I've always been advocating for Goddard over Kittle.
I thought we were going to hear Goddard number one. I thought you were going to go Goddard, a better two-way tight end, though, right? He blocks.
He's a much better blocker than Kelce right now. But you can't say the way Travis Kelce makes plays. I think he might be the GOAT. Obviously, he doesn't block like Gronk did, but as a playmaking tight end, a receiving tight end, he's better than Gronk was, in my opinion. But I think Gronk blocks better.
That is interesting. In your all-time power rankings, I would probably go Gronk, because you said because of the blocking, but it's tough to go against legends like Kelce, and Kelsey's obviously not even done yet. Tony Gonzalez,
Tony G.
Who would you put up number one?
It's tough it's between Gronk and Kelce, right? Tony Gonzalez, love Tony Gonzalez. He wasn't on those guys' level.
Antonio Gates, no.
Antonio Gates, no, he had some good years, but I just don't think he's on the Travis Kelce level. And Antonio Gates didn't block anyone either. He was a slot receiver.
He boxed out in the end zone.
He boxed out. He didn't tell you if he was blocking someone, he was pissed off. I liked Antonio Gates as a receiver, but I go. If you had a gun to my head and I had to pick Gronk or Kelce, I'm probably going Gronk because of the blocking ability. Even though Kelce is a better receiver, I'm going Gronk because of the blocking. Then I'm going Kelce number 2, and then probably Tony G 3. And then from there, maybe Gates.
I will say, to have Kelce and Gronk both be the personalities they are too is pretty
hilarious.
I can't wait to see Gronk around the Super Bowl. That's all we need.
I know.
He's going to be kicking some field goals. What about Dallas Goedert prop bets? We talk a ton about Goedert prop bets in general for Super Bowl 57. Over under 4.5 catches for Dallas Goedert.
It's a good number. but I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna think he gets 5 catches.
Love it. What do you think about receiving yards? 49.5.
Over.
You like that? Now, if you had to choose over receiving yards, let's see, you get a.
This is like an Eagles fan putting it on the tee, bam, home run. On the tee, bam, out.
If you had to choose Sophie's choice between receiving yards and catches for Goedert, what do you got?
I'm going with catches.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you there because he has gone over that. He's gotten 5 catches for like 26 yards over the last couple of weeks.
I'm not saying, I don't know if he's going to get the down the field catches, but they're going to throw him screen. They throw him screens. They throw him the stick route. You know, he can catch a touchdown and a fade in the end zone, a quick little, roll out where he slides under the defensive end in the end. Like, he can do a lot of catches and not get many yards. So I think he's going to have 5 catches.
Goedert first touchdown, Sean, 14-1.
Oh,
that's a pretty one.
Now we're talking.
Put some dollars in your pocket.
Clay, also have to ask, my wife is a big fan of The Bachelor, and she said, we're having Clay Harbor on. She's like, ask him about Bachelor in Paradise. So now wait, you were on regular Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise, but from what I read, you got knocked out of Bachelor in Paradise with a football injury. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got knocked out of the Bachelorette with a football injury, which is funny enough. I'm playing football against a male model and a dictionary salesman, and I ended up getting hurt as the guy that played in the NFL for several years. So don't ask me how this happens, but it did. It's real. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't fake. I literally got hurt on The Bachelor.
Now, I get it. I saw Tyreek Hill get smoked by Micah Parsons. Like, everyone has a day. Everyone has a day.
Guys get injured in the Pro Bowl. It happens.
Yeah.
And now, what about, what would you say? Easier to score in the NFL or Bachelor in Paradise?
Damn, that's a tough one, man. I mean,
8 career touchdowns.
I'll say it's probably a little bit easier to score in the Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah.
So now, what's your post? Your after you retire, what have you been getting into post career?
Yeah. So obviously, I did the reality TV stint there for a bit, but I'm finishing up my MBA, my master's from Indiana University Kelley School of Business, and I'm getting into media stuff as well as some speaking engagements. I've done in the last 60 days. I've done 5 speeches, but getting into some media stuff. I'm doing the post-game shows with CBS 2 Chicago. I'm working with
awesome.
ESPN Jacksonville, ESPN 1000 Chicago, NBC Sports Chicago. I've done a lot of work there, and I'm trying to get more into the media industry and talk about football.
Hell yeah, talking ball. Now, you mentioned, obviously, you played down in Jacksonville for a little bit as well. What do you make of the Jaguars? Getting a playoff win against the Chargers, that was kind of crazy. They got Doug Peterson down there now. What do you make of the future of the Jags?
Oh, the future is bright in Duval, man. Doug Peterson came in there and showed why, Urban Meyer was just a horrible idea. But I love Doug.
He really, as someone who's taken over a job, we should all be so lucky that the guy before you was Urban Meyer, right? Because you can only
go
succeed
up from there.
compared to that.
And they went from worst to first, man. It was pretty impressive. All their free agent signings, people were giving them a hard time for. Then you look a year later, and all of them paid off. Christian Kirk, big year.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Zay Jones, career year. You look at Foye Oluokun, career year for the linebacker. I mean, you just look at, and all those moves they made were getting scrutinized. Brandon Sheriff overpaid, good year. I mean, they did a good job.
Well, you mentioned the Kirk one, too. I know that one
Christian
got clowned on a ton.
Yeah,
like,
Evan
you're
Ingram.
paying Christian Kirk that much, and he's making plays in a playoff game.
1,100 plays.
You've been in a locker room. It's the power of belief.
Literally.
You back a bunch of grown-ass men into a corner. That, like, everyone's the same.
Yeah, and Doug did a great job, man. And Travis Etienne, to me, he's a top 5 running back. Trevor Lawrence, top 5 quarterback. Yeah, I said it. He's 5.
Wow.
He's 5. And coming back from 28 points, 27 points down, 27-0 to win a playoff game, they were.
He made some throws.
Unbelievable. They were the 3rd team in NFL history, 2nd team in NFL history to start the year 3-8 and make the playoffs.
I didn't see it. I mean,
that was incredible.
I was down on the Jaguars coming in the season when they were 3-8. I was down.
I was out.
Like,
We'll talk about it, Sean. Top 5 quarterback. You call him Goldilocks.
Yes, exactly.
What do you think? Where do you guys got?
No, I mean, I didn't think they had this in them.
Yeah.
So for them to come back, it's crazy. They had a crazy comeback in their season, and then crazy comeback in that playoff game. And he did. Trevor Lawrence did look really good to finish.
I mean,
in
hindsight, it makes sense, right? In hindsight,
you
Urban
bring in
Meyer
a decent
sucks.
coach. Yeah.
Doug Peterson's a good coach, and they had a generational talent at quarterback that, maybe he didn't have a great rookie season because the coach was horrible.
Well, Doug Peterson, but then you also look at the staff that Doug brought in with him. Press Taylor, offensive coordinator, is good. Mike McCoy, this guy was a head coach for several years. Mike McCoy he was an offensive coordinator, he was a head coach. Then Jim Bob Cooter, offensive coordinator. They brought in all these guys. And I mean, how good of a name is Jim Bob Cooter to have on your team?
Well, and I could hear Ryan laugh because it's a running joke on our show, and we were trying to keep it professional in front of Clay Harbor. We're like, do we do the Cooter bit, or we'll let? Luckily, Clay did it for us. Thank you, Clay. Appreciate that.
You're ready for media.
Yes.
Based on you passed the test.
Come on. If, you've been in the locker room. If your coach's last name is that, it's got to be the first 5 minutes of the season. It's like, all right, guys, get the jokes out now, and then we got to get to business. Get them all out.
He
now.
was my offensive coordinator when I played with the Lions, man.
Yeah.
Jim Bob Cooter. Every time I
really
see his name or they talk about, but they would just call him Jim Bob. Jim Bob. Hey, Jim Bob.
They would leave out the Cooter.
If you got 3 names, you got to shorten it to 2 names.
Absolutely. I'm not calling you 3 names. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Respect,
especially as a coach.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, Clay, before we let you go, I think we got to get a score prediction. Get it from everyone. What do you got? Super Bowl 57 final score prediction.
What's the over/under?
Over/under right
51.
now over at WynnBet. Yeah, 51.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably go. I think that's a good number, man. That's tough. I'd probably go over 28-24.
There you go.
28-24. Who do you have winning?
Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
Let's go.
Eagles win.
I mean,
smart, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in media as a former Eagle, you got to be all in. You know what?
That D line and that offensive line, I mean, you win in the trenches. I mean, that's huge. And I think you can't blitz Patrick Mahomes. He shreds blitz. So now you got an offensive line that's third in NFL history with sacks.
Preaching to the
You
choir.
don't have to blitz. Now you can actually have a recipe to beat this guy.
Yeah. All in. Yeah. Totally agree. Clay, appreciate you coming in. And where can people check you out?
Just follow me on Twitter, and that's where I put all my stuff. Everything I'm up to is ClayHarbs82 on Twitter. Give me a follow.
Awesome, Clay. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep. That'll do it for the show. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe. And if you're in Arizona for the big game, make sure you come check us out at the Ainsworth, 11 a.m. Thursday local time. And then if you can't make that, we're also doing the WynnBet kickoff show at 5:30 Arizona time from the Ainsworth.
If you need a permission slip, I'll have those in person at the Ainsworth. So if your wife, boss, someone needs something, just come talk to me. I'll get you squared away.
Yes. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/big game. Register over there. Come out. Have a couple cocktails. It is Super Bowl week.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Great job, Sean.
Kramer. Let it ride. Dong.